The first thing you want to do is size up your potential client. Usually a client contacts you via personal connection, a referral, an online email, even LinkedIn, Upwork, or another freelance site. Referrals are my favorite because most of the time the referring client is a similar size and scope to the client that is being referred. But everyone else is a bit tricky. To help me get started with my pricing project, I divide everyone into 3 different tiers. The first tier are the clients that have small businesses. These are usually the mom and pop shops. Sometimes they're nonprofits, and a lot of times they're personal friends. These people usually have a small staff, if any. Sometimes there's just only one employee, and they're looking for a freelancer to help more in kind of a support capacity, or to help support their staff and whatever they're needing. Employees are usually less than 10 people. The second tier of clients have a little bit more of a regional influence. They have some brand and name recognition in the community, or they might be a little bit of a larger local company. They usually have around 10 plus employees, 8 or 9, that's possible, but kind of definitely in that 10 plus category. And they have a decent marketing budget. Not great, but they have a marketing budget. The final or third tier is the highest tier client you can hope for. They're large and in charge, and they're possibly even national companies or well-known companies or organizations. You'll be brought on as a freelancer to assist in an in-house team or agency, or to assist an employee. The pressure and timelines you have to meet with these clients are very intense, and so they deserve the highest rate possible. Once I assign a potential client to a tier, I can have a better idea of where in my pricing range I can charge. The higher the tier, the higher on my pricing scale I will charge. Here's my hourly rate for graphic design services. Obviously, tier 3 clients are the most profitable, but they are much harder to come by. The goal is to move from only tier 1 clients to mostly tier 2 or 3 clients to increase your hourly or per project rate. Having a flat rate or project rate across all clients is a mistake. You might be leaving money on the table with your slightly larger clients who can afford more. It's all about maximizing your rate and money made. You also want to be reasonable with your rate and at least fall into an average price range for your experience and industry. Most of my clients actually fall into the tier 2 range, right around this area. The tier 3 range is great for profitability, but it also comes with a higher amount of stress and deadlines, and sometimes those deadlines leave you with less flexibility to have multiple clients. So weigh the pros and cons of a tier 3. Create your own scale, one for hourly rates and one for flat project rates. It gives you the ability to have a system when pricing, as opposed to feeling like you're picking a random rate or number out of the air. This gives you a little more confidence when presenting your price to the client. I offer more than just graphic design services. I also offer web development services and copywriting and marketing services. My web development services are usually about $10 higher across all tiers. That's because the industry demands a higher hourly rate. So I charge different rates for different services. Same goes for copywriting, which tends to be lower on my scale than my design services. So how do I figure out what price is my industry average? A pretty good website to check out is called Upwork.com, one of the more popular sites for finding and posting freelance work. For example, search for a graphic designer with similar experience and profile and see what the hourly rates they are charging. Same thing for web development, virtual assistant, copywriter, and illustrator. It gives you kind of a general idea of where to start. If you're working with someone locally and not on a freelance website or online, you might be able to get away with charging a little more since the employer is not having to pay a little bit on these websites to find freelance work. So how do I know what is the most profitable? Do I charge hourly or do I charge a per project flat rate? We'll discuss that in the next video.